Chapter 4, Part 3, Despair, the first glimmer of dawn, hope rekindled. After what seems like an eternity in darkness, the first glimmer appears. Not the full sunrise that will come later in the ascent into light, but the subtle shift from absolute darkness to the first hint that darkness might not be absolute, that dawn might be possible, that hope might not be entirely dead after all. This glimmer does not announce itself with trumpets, it whispers. It appears as the smallest shift in perception, the faintest, easing of the crushing weight, the barely noticeable thought that perhaps, just perhaps, things could be different. It is fragile, this nascent hope, like a candle flame in a windstorm, easily extinguished by the slightest breath of renewed despair. And yet it persists. Against all odds, against all evidence, against the full weight of despair's conviction, this tiny flame refuses to die completely. It may flicker and nearly go out, may seem to disappear entirely, only to reignite from some hidden ember, but it does not surrender to the darkness. Where does this glimmer come from? Sometimes from a word spoken by a friend, sometimes from a moment of unexpected beauty, a sunrise, a bird's song, a stranger's smile. Sometimes from a memory of a time when we were not despairing. Proof that this state, however total it feels, is not permanent. Sometimes from a dream, a synchronicity, or a moment of grace that cannot be explained, but cannot be denied. Often, the glimmer comes from hitting bottom, for there is a strange relief in reaching the absolute worst, in having descended as far as we can descend. There is nowhere to go but up. The mind that has exhausted all hope of fixing things, controlling things, and understanding things finally relaxes its grip, and in that relaxation, that surrender, space opens for something new. The recovery from despair is not a straight line. It is 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. A good day followed by a week of bad ones, a moment of hope drowned by a wave of renewed darkness. But gradually, imperceptibly, the balance begins to shift. The bad days are a little less bad. The good moments last a little longer. The voice of despair grows slightly quieter, while other voices begin to be heard. We begin to re-engage with life in small ways. We take a walk, read a book, or reach out to a friend. At first, these actions feel mechanical, performed without feeling, going through the motions of a life we no longer believe in. But gradually, imperceptibly, feeling begins to return. Not joy, not yet, but at least the capacity to feel something other than numbness or pain. We begin to remember who we were before despair, and also glimpse who we might become after it. We begin to tell ourselves a different story, not a false story of easy optimism, but a more complete story that includes both darkness and light, both struggle and possibility, both the descent and the eventual ascent. This is the wisdom that emerges from despair, that we are more resilient than we know, that we can survive what seemed unsurvivable, and that we contain depths we never imagined. Despair, having brought us to the very edge of our endurance, inadvertently showed us that our endurance extends further than we thought. We also emerge with more compassion for others who suffer. We know in our bones what it is to be in the pit. We know that cheer up and look on the bright side, and it could be worse, are worse than useless to someone in despair. We know that sometimes the greatest gift is simply one's presence, simply sitting with someone in their darkness without trying to fix them, change them, or rush them out of it. The 4th gate has been the most dangerous, the most difficult, and the most transformative. We have descended into the absolute depths and emerged, scarred, yes, but also stronger, wiser, and more authentically ourselves. We have faced the void and discovered that we are larger than the void, that something in us cannot be destroyed, even by the complete dissolution of meaning. From this point, every step upward is a victory. Every moment of non-despair is a gift. Every breath taken willingly is an act of courage. We have been to hell and returned. The rest of the journey will be difficult, yes, but nothing will be as difficult as what we have already survived. The first glimmer of dawn grows stronger. The long night is ending. The ascent begins. Stay tuned. To be continued.